This is the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Wednesday afternoon. I'm James Spann. Alabama's weather changing to much colder this weekend and next week. Looks like we might be near the freezing mark by the middle of next week. And, of course, the big news nationally, potential for what could be an historic storm for the east coast of the United States as Sandy makes that slow transition to a nor'easter. Let's get there and talk about it. First off, some local Skycam shots. A beautiful day today. That's the Tuscaloosa Skycam. Off in the distance, you can see Bryant-Denny Stadium. Hey, bundle up for those college football games Saturday night. Mississippi State will be playing there at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Auburn's got a home game, Magic City Classic, and you'll see the details here in a moment. We'll go down to the Selma Skycam. That's the Edmund Pettus Bridge across the Alabama River. The sky is sunny, and on the Alabama Gulf Coast, they are basking in the sunshine at Gulf Shores. All right, got that big trough, cold trough over the northeast, and a warm ridge here across the south. And you can pick out the features with the temperatures around the nation. And I'll tell you what, up north, it is cold. I mean, we're looking at temperatures in the teens at mid-afternoon over much of Montana and Idaho. It's snowing over parts of the Dakotas. And you can pick out that cold front very easily. In Kansas, you've got 60s on one side of the front, 40s on the other side. And that front is due in here Friday night, and we will feel that cold air this weekend. In advance of the front, there's a slight risk, the standard risk of severe weather from near Omaha, Nebraska, up into parts of the upper peninsula of Michigan for the rest of this afternoon and tonight. But as the front comes in here, we're thinking it comes through pretty much in dry fashion. In fact, the guys at HPC have taken out all the rain for us, just nothing. And there might be a shower on that front with some forcing, but with hardly any moisture, rain should be insignificant. But this is significant. The tropics, first off, Tony is out in the middle of the Atlantic. That's a tropical storm. Sandy is the one that will be talked about for a long time to come. Tony is going to move east-northeast, becoming post-tropical, no threat to land, maybe getting close to the Azores this weekend. There's a look at Sandy right on top of Jamaica. Top winds, 80 miles an hour, moving north at 14. Going to come across Cuba tomorrow, winding up in the Bahamas late tomorrow night and Friday. And from there, it becomes post-tropical. It begins to make the transformation from the warm core tropical system to a cold core nor'easter. The impacts are basically the same, but just a different type storm. And again, it could be an historic type storm if some of the modeling is correct. First off, there's the water vapor satellite view across the Atlantic basin. You can see a big plume of moisture that Sandy is picking up and taking with her. Here's a look at the ensemble guidance, 20-member ensemble guidance. Almost all the members take it into the Northeast United States early next week, making for a very high confidence forecast in terms of the general idea. But the specifics, hey, you know the deal, the devil in the details, and nobody knows the details at this stage of the game. Let's get in there and take a look at the global models. First off, the GFS, the Global Forecast System, the primary American model, valid at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. Very cold trough. You can see this coming. Very cold air flooding into the nation. You can see the tropical system coming up from the south. Just all kind of potential for wildness in the days ahead. But tomorrow for us, another beautiful day. Lots of sun, the high around 80. And the same thing on Friday. The front is closer. And there might be a shower somewhere Friday afternoon, Friday night, but don't think it rains much at all. And look how close Sandy is to Florida. Understand, they're going to have very high winds and heavy rain on the immediate coast from really Miami all the way up to Cape Canaveral, Daytona Beach, maybe even Jacksonville. And certainly the surf will be incredibly rough. It's going to be awfully windy for the Georgia-Florida game. It's going to be played in Jacksonville on Saturday. There's the look at the Saturday chart. This has got the thing, offshore, of course, but still, I think it's going to be close enough for pretty windy conditions at Jacksonville and maybe some rain. But around here on Saturday, the pressure gradient sharpens. All right, so we'll have a strong north wind. We'll struggle to reach the low 60s. It's going to make it feel colder. We'll say a mix of sun and clouds. Any showers in the front should be north of here. So for the day football games, just windy, very cool. The high 60s, 61, something like that. And once the sun goes down, it's going to get cold, and the wind will not stop. So for the Alabama, the Auburn game, just be aware of that. Dress very warmly. Temperatures, in fact, could reach the 40s at both Tuscaloosa and Auburn before the games are over Saturday night. And that wind will make it feel colder. Sunday, look at the cold air deepening now. The thickness values coming in lower. That's suggesting we'll be in the 50s all day. And again, a very strong north wind is Sandy, or a hybrid type system now, is off the Outer Banks. This is Monday, and we've still got a very, very strong pattern of cold air advection here. Windy, cool, highs only in the middle 50s. No frost now Monday morning because of the wind. We might be in the 30s, but there won't be any frost. The GFS has Sandy, or again, this is kind of a hybrid now system well off the East Coast, but on Tuesday it begins to pull that thing in. And this is just after, let's see, what time is this? This is 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday evening. So Tuesday evening, the GFS brings it up to the Maine coast. And remember, the worst effect of this thing will be along and north of the center of landfall. And again, it's not technically a landfall because at this point it's a hybrid system, but it's going to be a nasty system. But if this northern solution is right, this is much better for the majority of the East Coast, as the main issues with this will be up into the Canadian Maritimes, Nova Scotia, places like that. But understand the GFS has not done well with this thing. Let's go down and look at the European. This is Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern. Look how close that thing is to Cape Canaveral. That's why we're saying for that Georgia-Florida game, it is going to be windy, big time. We've got the wind speed here is at about 5,000 feet, and that's got winds of over 70 knots on the coast of Florida. At 5,000 feet, that'll mix down to winds of 40, 50 miles an hour at times at the surface. We'll go to Sunday. System is moving to the northeast. Monday, oh man, this is Monday morning at 8 o'clock Eastern. 935 millibar low near the mouth of Chesapeake Bay. And the implications would be incredible along and north of that point. And really, there's potential for beach erosion all up and down the eastern seaboard with this thing. But, boy, that would be just a mess for Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Cape Cod. We're talking, power outages to millions. And understand there is Arctic air west of the mountains. Big snows that they'd be measuring in feet. And then Tuesday morning, the thing is inland north of Philadelphia. And again, just tremendous wind and snow and the cold air. And this is just, will go down in the history books if this verifies. But we don't know if this is the right solution. If the GFS is right, it will not impact as many people. It's going to be much farther north. And quickly a look at the Canadian. It is more in line with the GFS. This is valid late or Monday evening. Let's see. Yeah, this is after midnight Monday night. 942 millibar low at Cape Cod. So the details we just don't know yet. And if this northern solution is right, like the Canadian, the GFS, the main impacts would be for the upper part of the Atlantic coast. If the European is right, the whole East Coast is going to just be a big mess. So we'll watch it very carefully for our friends over there in coming days. We'll check the end of the forecast. This is November 9th, troughing to the north and west, an approaching front. And keep in mind, November marks the beginning of the fall tornado season here. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this afternoon. Notes on the blog. Next video here by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And don't forget to catch us on ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 on the live stream or the television side. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless.
Weather.